Okay.
Okay, so today I'm going to explain the importance of good credit. How many of you think that you have good credit? And how many of you know what credit is? Credit basically is when you have borrowed money and you repay it. It lets people know if you're capable of borrowing money and repaying the money back within a timely manner. I'll be explaining why it is important to have good credit and what will happen if you have bad credit. I've been researching on this topic and I've become really interested in it, and I hope you as my audience will as well. I'm sure everyone in this class has a job, and eventually in the future you will all want to purchase big, expensive things such as a home or a car. But in order for this to happen, you must contain a good credit score. I'll discuss the importance of good credit, how to have good credit, and what will happen if you don't have good credit. The first thing I would like you to know are the types of things that will help you have good credit. There are many things that can help you and have good credit score. First off, charge what you can pay, what you can only afford to pay. When you do not go over the amount you have on your credit card and you do not have to pay the bank back money you spent that wasn't in your account. Second, pay all of your bills on time. Paying bills on time so that the amount of the bill doesn't add up later on, such as your phone bill. Third, student loans for educational purposes, not for your own purpose, because it's money that is loaned to you, not given to you to keep, so you have to pay it back, and the more you spend, the more you owe. Have any of you borrowed money and paid it back on time and have good credit? Now that you have an idea of the things that can help you contain a good credit score, I'm going to discuss the importance of having good credit. Many wonder why it's important to have good credit scores. The importance of having good credit score is so that later when the time comes for purchasing your own car or home, you can. Have any of you purchased your own vehicle or even rented out a place to live? Believe it or not, but even if you're just renting out a home or apartment, the landlord does check to see if you have good credit. Because if you don't, they will automatically assume that you will not pay rent on time, and they don't want to have to deal with that because just like you and I, they have other things to deal with. Now that we have completed discussing the importance of having a good credit score, I'm now going to explain to you what will happen if you have bad credit and how this could happen to you. Having bad credit scores can cause many problems in life for a person. First off, bad credit is when a person has a bad history of owing money. People are doing this by not paying their bills on time, going over credit card balances, and loaning money from school, but spending it on things not related to it. Third, the effects of having a bad credit. Having bad credit can cause you to miss out on a job opportunity, disapproval of a school loan application, and not being able to purchase your house or apartment you wish to purchase, or purchasing the car you wanted, or even getting a cell phone contract. When my dad was younger, when I was first born, him and my mom were really young, and he wasn't really didn't really know a lot about the credit card stuff, so he had more than one, and as time went on, he just went over the balance, and he's still, to this day, working hard to pay off the loans that he has, and still paying the bills he has today. My coworker as well attended Cal State Fullerton, and she was getting loans from school. And because she didn't pay them off on time, she couldn't purchase her own car. So when she had to purchase a car, she had to put it under her mom's name. And recently, she just paid off all of the loans that she had, and she purchased her second car on her own. The FICO credit score chart shows the scores you must have to have a good credit score, and what the number is that needs to contain bad credit score. As the years, days, and months go by, all your points add up, and it's done by the good and bad choices people tend to make with money. So on here, 730 and up is excellent credit, and 700 to 729 is good and average. 670 to 699 is good credit, 585 and 669 is fair credit, and 584 and below is bad credit. Today I have talked about how to maintain a good credit, the importance of good credit, and what bad credit is, and what can happen when having a bad credit score. As you can see, many people don't learn their lessons and are always having a difficult time with money. Good credit is our life, because without it, we would be stuck in a hole.
All right, Claudia, what did you think?
Okay, well, I noticed that there was no attention grabber, but the thesis was clear. I liked how you were dressed nice. It was a nice presentation. I like that you had good pictures and it went with your speech. You had a good topic. It was relatable to everyone here. Just try not to read too much because you weren't really looking up at the audience, and I didn't really feel connected. I liked how you had a personal story to relate to, and yeah.
All right. I didn't get the time on that.
She had 2:32 left.
All right, thank you. Actually, there's some things in this that I think are really good, and then there are a couple things that are very problematic. I have to agree, there was like no attention device. You just basically start with your thesis statement. It's very clear, and you kind of clarify it a little bit more in the body of the speech, so I think that that's fine. You have a pretty good preview, so we know where you're going with the material, but you're not doing much to make it very interesting, especially at the beginning. Then that first section is just this long list of recommendations, and they go on and on and on, and there's nothing interesting about them. You're reading them in a very dull and dry way, and I just was, this is just overwhelming. It sounds like listening to somebody read their laundry list. And then you get to the later part, and then you tell a story. And I'm going, this is kind of what you need to have more of in the speech. You need to make it a little bit more interesting. So, for instance, when you're going through that long list of things, maybe you could edit it a little bit, pick out a couple of them and talk about, here's how somebody got into a problem. Here's an example of somebody, or here's a statistic that shows how many people default on their loans or end up with bad credit scores because they didn't follow this advice. Or here's how much the whole country is behind in paying their bills, or something to make it a little bit more than just this interminable list. And then you get to the second, you got the story of your friend, you tell the story about your father getting in a little bit of trouble, and that makes it a heck of a lot more tolerable. It's more about you talking about the subject and not just reading the brochure that they gave you at the bank that tells you all the things to watch out for when applying for credit. And you need to get more of that kind of stuff into the speech. We're going to work on delivery. This is the next round of speeches. You're doing way too much reading. And even when you're doing the reading, you've got to have some variety in your voice and some energy. And it really feels like, I know I have to do this, so let me get through it. And you know, when you tell the story, you're a little bit better. I like that. You need to do more of that. And you also need, I know it's 8:30 in the morning. It's tough to get up all the time, but a little energy, a little pep in it would have helped too. The visuals, I'll tell you what, they're integrated well into the speech. The first two visuals are basically just wallpaper for the subject matter. They don't add anything to the content. The one visual that you have that explains what the credit scores, what the ranges are on the credit scores. I thought that was pretty good, although I would like to have a little bit more information about why somebody might be in one category or the other. Is that because they had late payments on something, or they defaulted on a loan someplace, or is it because they have too many accounts open, or they don't have enough accounts? How is it that somebody ends up with those excellent credit scores in the 700s versus somebody who's down in the mediocre credit scores, down in the low 6s or early, late 5s? I mean, what did those people do that made people less enthusiastic about them as a risk, for instance? And I think you got a little bit more time, so there's an opportunity to add some information there too. All right, thank you very much.